Here's the conclusion of my 4-part portrait workshop. Thanks for sticking around. Some big things are going to happen in this part. First, I'm taking care of some of the shadows on his neck. There's not a lot to do. And now I'm blocking in his shirt and tie. I'm going to be a little looser on things that are not his face. This is intentional and puts the focus on his features. I'm using cerulean and a bit of turquoise on his shirt. It's white, and these are just some shadows. His tie is slightly darker, but is mostly defined by the shadows around it, and I'm painting those with a mixture of blues and a little sepia. It's finally time to remove the masking fluid. Make sure everything around it is completely dry before you attempt this. I'm using a rubber cement pickup, but you can also use an eraser. It wants to stick to itself and comes off easily. And this reveals a lot of pure white lines. I love seeing them appear. My small brush and the masking fluid made a lot of white lines that are of similar width, so now my job is to try to add some variety to that conformity. I'm using my fuzzy brush on his hair and beard to soften hard edges and add a little color and texture to places that are maybe too white. His eyelashes have a slightly golden tone, so I'm going over most of them with some muted cadmium yellow medium. And then I'm deepening and softening some of them simply by activating the dark paint surrounding them with my damp brush. I'm also adding some darkness to areas on his forehead and temple, and anywhere I see an obvious white line, I'm trying to soften its edges. Parts of his mustache remind me of ramen noodles, sort of, so I'm making some of them thinner than others while retaining some pure white here and there. This part is just so much fun. Next, my hand is just going to flutter around the painting like a hummingbird, randomly making things darker and softening edges. I'll do more little picky stuff with his hair and his beard now. And now, in preparation for painting the background, I'm painting a line of masking fluid around his hair, shirt, and the side of his face. The masking fluid outlining his hair is rougher and is meant to give it a natural look with a few flyaways. You don't want a really smooth line for this. Let's paint that background. I'm using a 3/4 inch flat brush to really block in everything quickly. I've got a mixture of sepia, cadmium red light, and phthalo blue that I'm stroking on randomly. The masking fluid ensures that I'll stay off his face, shirt, and hair, and I'm letting the colors flow together naturally. If I don't like a color, like this part in the corner that's too orange, I can absorb it with a paper towel. I normally paint on a flat surface, but when I flood areas like this, it sometimes helps me to tip my board to get the paint to flow. The paper I'm using is on a block that is attached all the way around with adhesive, except for a small gap that you can fit a knife into. You use that to detach the paper later. I've taped it shut because sometimes that gap can cause part of the paper to warp if I flood nearby areas. I'm going to spend the rest of my time integrating the background into his hair, and once this video is over, I'll remove the rest of the masking fluid and soften the edges. I hope you enjoyed this workshop, and here's the finished portrait. Thanks a lot for watching.